I just finished Donahue My Own Story, and I'm going to draw a picture based on it and talk about what I thought of the book. Quick preface for the book is I had no idea who this man was when I started reading it. I knew he was like a talk show host or something, which is correct. It was one of my mom's books, but since I'm doing reading now, I picked it and decided to do it. So I like this book. It is a little all over the place. It is by Phil Donahue and Co. And Co is like people he worked with on his show, and they gave little blurbs about how it was working with him and their favorite moments, which I thought was pretty neat. There was a lot of information in here about just a lot of different stuff, the world in the 70s and before that. And I think it was pretty cool. It was interesting to see someone's takes on something so long ago. I am going to read a passage or two that really stuck out to me. The first one was when his marriage was ending. He said, "Do whatever you have to. I want to save my marriage. Put me through the meat grinder." And how the psychiatrist had leaned forward, offered me a Kleenex, and stroking his beard as in a bad movie said, "There is no meat grinder." For that, I thought was very poignant because it's like sometimes you make mistakes and you just want to be punished and move on and everything's fine, but sometimes that's not how it goes. Sometimes you really just have to deal with the consequences of your actions, which I thought was very, I don't know, I thought it was interesting. One thing I will mention in this is since it is an older book, some of the language he uses is outdated and could be kind of offensive by today's standards, but I don't think he meant anything by it then because it was just colloquialisms they used. So that is something you'd want to look out for if you're going to read this book. But the next quote kind of has to do with that when he was talking about like charity and how it fits into celebrity and business. Perhaps our tax money should go toward the solving of children's health problems, and the Pentagon should be allowed to have a telethon for war, which I thought was really good because it really is still true today. Like, why are we spending all this money on war when we could spend it helping like our country? And it's crazy that that hasn't changed in 40 years. And at the end of the book, he spoke a bit about his move away from Catholicism, which he covered a lot earlier in the book, but it ended in a very interesting way that I really relate to. It said, "I had moved in my 43 years from certainty to doubt, from devotion to rebellion, and I knew that after all the masses, sacraments, novenas, and retreats, and even after the anger of activism and the confusion of defeat, I would never completely lose my faith. A little piece of it would always be there. And I felt a little sad. I knew that there would always be a part of me that would want to go back. I also knew that I never would." And I really feel like that as far as like my religious journey. So I really think it's a good book. It was interesting. I really had no idea what it was about, like I said, but I had fun reading it. Next, I'm going to be reading the novelization of West Side Story, which I did try to start reading a couple years ago, but I wasn't really into reading yet. So I will be back when I finish that book. I hope you like this drawing and let me know if you've read this book and give me any recommendations in the comments below. Please subscribe.